Pinpoint weather on NBC5 News is brought to you by the Cow Creek Umpqua Tribe.
Hey, welcome back. It is sunny, but it's also chilly out there this morning. We're sitting in the 30s for much of the inland areas. 37 here in Medford, a 4-degree drop off compared to yesterday. Wind speeds are calm right now. They'll pick up a little bit like yesterday with that slight breeze into the afternoon hours. Yesterday made it up to 61 after starting off the morning at 41. Again, colder out there this morning. As we look at Klamath Falls, they only made it to 51. All of our areas staying below the seasonal average for this time of year, but we're going to be nearing that seasonal high for today, and then we're going to be getting above the seasonal high as we're getting through the rest of the forecast. We're quickly warming up in high temperatures and our low temperatures as well, and that's going to continue all the way into next week. And this warm up is also going to be dry. We had the good rain over the weekend, but the forecast is reversed now as the ridge of high pressure builds in. Now, we might have some isolated storms as we're getting into this weekend for some of our higher terrain, looking at the Cascades into Northern California. Very isolated in nature. Most of the area continues to stay dry, and if we see that, could bring a potential chance of some lightning strikes. For the rest of this week, we're going to be dealing kind of with this northwest flow aloft as this ridge continues to build up into the northwest, bringing in the heat, bringing in that sunshine as well. And then this ridge is going to be flattening out across the western half of the U.S. This is still providing quiet conditions for our area. A weak system to our north might start to bring a little bit of a cool down as we get into the start of next week, but nothing too significant when we're looking at temperatures. In fact, we're staying above seasonal even with a slight cool off for next week. Now, with this ridge building up into the northwest, it does bring that northeast flow aloft, and this brings in, especially for the Brookings area in particular, we're looking at the Checo River Valley. That warm air moves out of the valley and pushes towards Brookings. This is known as the Checo effect. This is where Brookings definitely gets much warmer than the rest of the coast, which is going to be the case through the rest of this week. 50s and lower 60s for the rest of the coast. Brookings topping off around 75 this afternoon, and not as cool as the rest of the coast, even into the nighttime hours. 50s is expected, but usually with this, Brookings stays pretty mild through the overnight hours. Plenty of sunshine, a little bit of a breeze for today as well. We're warming up into the 60s, lower 70s here in the valleys. Not as chilly tonight as we'll cool off into the 30s and lower 40s. Still cool though. If you have any outdoor plans in the morning, still might need to grab at least a light jacket. 50s, lower 60s across our eastern counties. And I mentioned the winds. It's going to be from the northwest here for much of the western half of our area. Eastern counties more from the north and northeast, and anywhere from around 10 to 20 miles per hour. So again, a steady breeze. Some gusts could get up to that 25 to 30 mile per hour range. The valley will see kind of the same setup with the winds tomorrow as well, and then a kind of back off just a little bit, but might pick up a bit more for this weekend as well. Again, nothing overly strong, but a steady breeze in the afternoon hours. Highs continue to climb. We're looking at upper 80s for much of this weekend. Morning lows into the mid 50s. Mother's Day is just looking fantastic. High of 86. Might start to see a little bit more cloud cover, but still lots of sunshine and dry conditions for most of the area. There's a chance for maybe some isolated storms again into our higher terrain as we get into the start of next week, but overall dry conditions expected, and we see highs going from 60 today to almost 80 for this weekend. Northern California will quickly get into those 80s by the end of the week. Morning lows will get out of the 30s and staying into the 40s. The coastline will continue to warm up. They're getting into some 70s for the next couple of days. Brookings even warmer with the 80s, but then they start to cool off with some lower 60s returning next week.